one sentence, and it can be good or ill, about yourself and Harlaxton College and the Harlaxton experience.
Learning all together.
Harlaxton experience is a life-transforming one, marked by magical surroundings, unique education experiences, and enduring friendships.
It's pretty, and it makes me feel like a princess.
Of the 72 semesters that I taught, the most interesting, most intellectually stimulating were the 5 semesters I spent at Harlaxton.
Going to Harlaxton really kind of cracked open my comfort zone and taught me to be a lifelong learner.
When I taught at Harlaxton in the fall of 2007, my daughter was a senior in high school, and I made her go to Harlaxton College against her wishes. Now she tweets that she longs for Harlaxton College and how much she loves it.
It was definitely one of the best experiences of my life.
It's a magical experience, everything I expected and beyond.
40 years ago, I had to talk my mom into letting me go to Harlaxton. And I said at that time it was a great adventure. I know I've got a lot of semicolons, but it was truly a grand adventure.
Harlaxton has changed my outlook on the joys of life, and it's also given me a second chance and a new lease on life.
Let us be in a place where learning is valued every hour of the day, and we're nurtured to do more than teach. A place that affords our students opportunities to know vital theater and to be among vital audiences who clamor for more. A place that gives us pause from the minutia of living and somehow connects us to the eternal by way of traveling or simply walking down the lane with the wind blowing so hard at our backs, pausing to be, pausing to enjoy, pausing to think with a sigh, oh, this is Harlaxton.
I promise some of the kids will be out of here in an hour. And I never believe anybody who says that if they're standing at a place like this. They're just out and out liars. But I meant it. It's just that it probably won't work, but we'll get going. And our celebration is very simple, and it's shaped with a certain taste for variety and simplicity. First, I want to share an experience. A lot of you have heard it because it's part of opening convocation at Harlaxton for the last 3 years or 4. And it's from when I myself was serving a sentence as a college president after a relatively honest life as a professor and a dean. Sylvia's been talking about progressive declines, and this is another one of those that often happens in life, or sometimes happens. So I want to tell this experience as a way of bringing Harlaxton home to many people who've heard it before. Then, as part of this story, us Harlaxton veterans will play and sing a little folk song and invite everyone to join us, whether you can sing or not. And then some who wish to do so will say a word. They're allowed one sentence about Harlaxton, for good or for bad. Harlaxton was the best thing that ever happened to me. Harlaxton ruined my life. Anything, good or bad. And then they're allowed a second sentence if they choose to say a word of encouragement or support for the Kazees as they take on this marvelous and very strategic role for the university. And then we'll conclude with tribute and support and the best wishes of Harlaxton and the university toward Dr. and Mrs. Kazee. So first the experience, the tale I tell, and we'll begin with the song, the garden song. Corby's here, he didn't practice. The rest of us practiced and were pretty bad. So here we go. And first I'm going to sing it. And I can't sing a lick. But I'm going to do this to encourage you to sing too. You see what I mean? If I can do this, you can do this. Anybody can. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, now.
See, I knew I'd mess it up. Okay, here we go.
One more time.
Okay. Inch by inch and row by row, we're gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch and row by row, Someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling. Oh, you guys are good. Okay, now we're going to come back to that. But first, I want to explain it. I first heard this song in a deliberately quaint little Irish pub. It's a little folk song. It made a lot of difference to my life. The pub was and still is in Doolin, D-O-O-L-I-N, County Clare, in the far west point of Ireland, near the Aran Islands, so far west that the locals say that America is the next parish west. Gus O'Connor's pub had become pretty famous for Irish music. And in fact, you Harlaxton students will be interested in knowing that we've changed the Ireland trip, and Harlaxton students are tonight in Doolin in County Clare, and if I know them, they're in Gus O'Connor's pub. I'd gone there, to tell you the truth, I was sort of running away. And here's the story. I'd been president of a good college, William Jewell, in a suburb of Kansas City, for about 5 years. And we had been doing what Dr. and Mrs. Kazee are doing now. We'd been putting the pieces in place, listening to people, charting a course, getting the right people in the right place. And we were ready, I was sure in my soul, we were ready to soar and swoop and sail. We were going to mount up with wings as eagles. We were going to run and not be weary. We were going to walk and not faint. We were going to build the best little college, not just in Missouri, not just in America, in the whole world. I mean, I was sure of that. College presidents get deluded sometimes. And I was sure of it, absolutely sure of it. And then all at once, instantly, it all unraveled. And it unraveled in the way that things always unravel. Either you yourself can't step up to a challenge, or someone you're counting on can't step up to it. And that's what happened. A fine man who went on to great things at that moment couldn't step up to the challenge that he needed to meet in order for us to move ahead. And so now it all just kind of crashed. And now you're not soaring and swooping and sailing, you're looking up to see bottom. I mean, have you ever been there? You just don't know if you want to go on the next day, you know? And you're kind of depressed, and you just kind of want to give up. And then you start getting advice from your friends, because Job never lacks comforters. And so they tell you things like, now talk to somebody. Talk to somebody who will understand. Well, in Kansas City, that would have been the president of Baker University, a Methodist college just about 40 miles out of town. Or Rockhurst College, which is a Jesuit college right in Kansas City. I wasn't about to go out to Baker and tell them that we were screwing up at William Jewell. I wasn't about to. And as to talking to Jesuits, well, everybody knows Jesuits can hurt you. So no joy there. Or they say to you, go deep into yourself. I tried that. It was just one depressed person talking to another depressed person. No good there. Or they say, talk to God, pray about it. And I thought about that and probably did it. But I figured in my pagan self that God had never. We, with this president, we're going to make this garden grow. Then there's a next step. Inch by inch and row by row, we're going to make this garden grow. We're going to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe. Okay, this garden, we're going to make this garden grow. And that spoke to me of work, labor, effort, thing your mama taught you, the thing all mamas teach all of us. You work. When you're finished working, you work some more. And that was a lesson I needed to relearn that night in Gus O'Connor's pub. We'd been working hard to make a good little college. And it had unraveled, and I'd withdrawn. Had retreated, as the English say, to sort it all out. But now the duty was clear. Get yourself back and work harder. Give more of yourself. Make this garden grow. The vision was clear. We could articulate it in simple words and images for all of us. We could each find a piece of it. Our part in realizing the vision now, as Nike says, just do it. Or as the Cadbury executive said, ready, fire, aim. Disorderly action is preferable to orderly inaction. Let's work. Let's do something. Let's get it done. We don't wait for the ships to come in. We trim the sails and drive them in. We don't wait for the iron to get hot. We strike it and make it hot. As I heard an old country preacher say in Kentucky a long time ago, our unction must function. We're going to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe. Work, darn hard work, and lots of it. I had a tiny glimpse, I probably shouldn't have seen it, of the schedule of President and Mrs. Kazee during a part of October. I'm telling you, folks, these people are working. If this garden is going to grow through work, it's going to happen in the hands and the efforts and the hearts and the labors of these people. We have to work. As they say every Sunday in the little Anglican church where we worship, it is meet and right so to do. Third, you can tell there's not much more. Inch by inch and row by row, we're going to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. I don't know why they say fertile, but that's the way the Irish say it. Fertile ground. And I sat in Gus O'Connor's pub that evening deciding what to do next. The fertile ground in that song spoke to me of the gifts that have been given us. And what gifts they are, our abilities, the gifts of our abilities, our God-given talents, our health, our energy, our minds, our spirit. The gifts of those who've supported us in the past, parents, grandparents, mothers, people who have cared for us, brought us along, believed in us when others had given up on us, our teachers, our mentors. The gifts of our education, our learning, the gifts of our former schools, former work, friends, college, joining in a shared purpose. I don't know, the gifts of good work to do. Dr. and Mrs. Kazee must be pinching themselves now and again, not only in pain, but in the space of just a few weeks, they became, just so quickly, you became leaders of the University of Evansville. I saw Lucy Hempstead's clever video. It's gone around England. I mean, that's maybe a good thing and maybe not, but Lucy Hempstead's video of Dr. Kazee trying to find his office the first day on the job. And in a whimsical way, it caught the sense of wonder that must surely have been his. I'm president of this place. I'm president of this place, wherever it is. I'm president of this place. They're looking to me to lead. The best speech I heard at Douglas Lee's inaugural as president of Stetson University was from the person speaking for the secretarial staff. Other people had given flowery talks. She stood up and said, "You're the leader, now lead." That was pretty good, wasn't it? But they are looking to me to lead, you must be thinking. And what an honor it is, and what a challenge, and what a gift. Only 22 persons in the history of the world have filled this role before. President of the University of Evansville. Only a minuscule portion of the population ever becomes president of a college or university. And so I'm sure Dr. and Mrs. Kazee, I don't presume to speak for them, feel it a great gift to be here, a huge privilege, an opportunity to relish and realize. And it's a gift to all of us, that they are here, bringing a new beginning, a fresh start, new opportunities, new dreams, new ways of thinking, new hopes. For more than 150 years, this university has been getting ready for you. For 150 years. Some have labored to found the place, some have labored to keep it alive in adversity, some have led to its flowering and growth. The University of Evansville is a piece of fertile ground ready to be shaped and improved. So we put on our work clothes, pick up our trowels and seeds and plants, look to the hills with a soaring vision and check the day-to-day plans carefully so that the vision has a focus. And then together we plant this fertile ground, this field of learning, this garden that is the University of Evansville. It's a gift that's been given us. And finally, and mercifully, inch by inch and row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down. Now that part of the song tells me that we're surrounded by powers, forces, influences larger than we are. Powers that are influencing us and others for good and blessing us so that we can be all and more than we ever would have hoped to be. That we can achieve all that we were meant to achieve. Some of it is the sacrifice and care of those who built this place in the long ago. There is a spirit of the University of Evansville, a spirit in the great tradition of liberal and professional learning that swept across these prairie lands and river lands in schools like Evansville and created this great land of America. A spirit that now spans oceans as UE shapes global citizens. And if you pause and listen to the sounds and rhythms of this campus, you'll feel this spirit. We are not alone. Others have created before us. Others are supporting us now. Someone bless these seeds I sow. As this president takes his place in the history of the University of Evansville, and as each of us carries on our mission, our purpose in this place, we need each other, and if we do it right, we will have each other. We'll support each other. We'll make up for each other's lack. We'll fill the gap when others stumble. As William Faulkner said in his Nobel Prize acceptance speech, together we will not only endure, we will prevail. Someone bless these seeds I sow. So at this moment, we each and all, with gratitude, commit ourselves to the great cause before us. Someone bless these seeds I sow. And we'll do it, I guess, by singing the song again, if you'll do it. Oh, I should finish the tale. I did go back to Missouri. I didn't stay in Gus O'Connor's pub. And we did these things I'm talking about. I'm talking out of experience. And someone else has to write that story, but some good, very good things happened at a very good little college. But that's another story. Before we sing, I'll conclude with a parable that our Harlaxton students and faculty will remember. In 1675, we take a field trip to St. Paul's in London. Remember it? And we go around and we see everything in it. I mean, it's a warehouse of Britain. And we go around and learn it all. And we learn about the architect who built the building, and it was Sir Christopher Wren, England's greatest architect. In 1675, he laid the first stone on that cathedral. He worked on that church for 35 years. You think some projects here on campus have gone slow. 35 years he worked on that. Talk about cost plus contracts. He worked 35 years on that one church. Lived across the river in the house that Catherine of Aragon had lived in, right next to the Globe Theater now, and would come across on a little boat each day to work on that church. Then in 1710 it was finished, and he presented it to his sovereign, the great Queen of England, Queen Anne, for her inspection. So England's grand monarch gave a ceremonial tour of the place, viewed the great dome, and then to the assembled masses, Her Royal Majesty pronounced the cathedral, Christopher Wren's masterpiece, pronounced it to be awful and artificial and amusing. Do you remember? Sir Christopher was delighted because in 1710, and I've looked this up in the Oxford English Dictionary, in 1710 the word awful meant full of awe, awe-inspiring. What students mean when they say awesome, awesome, full of awe, awe-inspiring. The word artificial meant something artificed, a work of art. And the word amusing meant amazing, amazing. So my wish for each of you tonight, but particularly for Dr. and Mrs. Kazee, is that in your presidency at the University of Evansville, the whole experience may be awful and artificial and amusing, that it may be for you truly awe-inspiring. It may be truly a work of art. It may be truly amazing. Okay, let's go. Now, inch by inch and... Okay, hit it this time. You're into it now. Make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch and row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down. That's good.